In today's video, you are going to learn how to become a community ambulator. In other words, ditch that wheelchair permanently. If you're new to this channel, I'm Tom, neurologic physical therapist, and on this channel we talk about anything and everything related to mobility, health, fitness, and mindset in the context of neurologic injury, with the end goal of empowering you with as many tools as possible to take ownership of your rehab and your health, to live an overall more active, more mobile, pain-free, happier, healthier life. So, if you are currently someone who feels really comfortable walking around your house, however, you would still consider yourself kind of like a wheelchair user, you want to start thinking about how to ditch that wheelchair for good and be a community ambulator. Now, why is this so important? Well, first and most importantly, for your overall health. So if you are sitting more than 6 hours a day, you are considered sedentary, and we definitely want to get as many people after a stroke or a brain injury or any kind of neurologic injury as far away from sedentary as possible, not only to help with your recovery, neuroplasticity, brain performance in general, but also a sedentary lifestyle is definitely linked to a ton of comorbidities or other medical conditions, which you definitely don't want if you're already someone who is dealing with or recovering from some kind of a neurologic injury. I interrupt this video to bring you today's sponsor. Now, I don't often accept sponsorships. However, sponsorships do help me to continue to provide these videos for free on YouTube. So when someone reaches out to me with a product that I feel would benefit all of you, please know that one, I only try and choose products that I think will actually benefit you. And two, again, it really does help to support this channel. And today's sponsor is the Geniani Scrubber Brush. Now, the reason I love this scrubber brush is because I feel like it is so valuable for anyone who has one hand, or any of you who might be confined to a wheelchair. I found it really easy to put together, and it's so helpful to reach those hard to reach places. With the extended arm, if you're someone that's sitting in a wheelchair, it allows you to reach places higher up or behind a sink. The other great thing about it is that it is rechargeable, so you don't always have to have a plug near the areas that you're trying to clean. Overall, I found it pretty easy to put together and surprisingly really powerful, much more powerful than I expected it to be. So again, sponsors do help to support this channel. If you like this product and you want to purchase it and you want to support this channel, click on the first link in the description below. And now back to the video. So how do you do that exactly? Because there are so many people that I know, or patients, that walk fine in their home, but they come to therapy with their wheelchair. So first, let's just talk about the reasons why someone who can walk in their home would use a wheelchair when they leave the home. Well, one is just lack of balance confidence. You just feel safer in your wheelchair. Two is time. It's just faster and more convenient, not only for you, but also for the caregiver. Three, maybe you just never even thought about the idea of walking out in the community. Either A, because a therapist told you it's not safe. B, a doctor told you you'll never walk again, so you're kind of just happy that you can walk around in your home. Or C, life just seems a whole lot easier when you're sitting in a wheelchair because you don't have to think so hard. So let's kind of break these kind of barriers down a little bit. One is the fact that you just feel safer, you just lack balance confidence. If that is you, two things that you might want to start working on is one, focusing on your walking distance. So we know that if you can walk 150 to 200 feet, then you could technically walk from a car in a parking lot into a store. So if you can't currently do that, then I would say set that as a goal, and that'll kind of help to build your confidence that you could make it from your car into a store safely. Two is walking speed. That might be another reason why you don't feel confident. Maybe you feel like you can't safely get across a parking lot without feeling like you're going to get hit by a car, or any number of things. Like your walking speed is the barrier or the thing where you lack confidence. If that is you, a good goal would be to work on getting your walking speed up to 1 meter per second. That's usually what we would consider someone you're on the low end of being able to safely walk in the community. So set up a 10-meter course in your home and try and get to a point where you can walk that 10 meters in 10 seconds. The next reason why you might not feel confident is your skills, your abilities. And if that is you, there are a few criteria that I would say would be good to work on that will increase the amount of data that you have to give yourself more confidence that you could safely walk in the community. The first one is, I would say, being able to stand on one leg for 10 seconds. That is with or without an assistive device. Now, I know I talk a lot on this channel about not using an assistive device to decrease the chances of compensating with your strong side. However, if you're someone that's still using a wheelchair in your 2 or 3 years post-injury or post-stroke, I would say that at this point, the downsides or the risks associated with sitting in a wheelchair for 6 to 10 hours a day far outweigh the risks that might be associated with compensating, such as having more joint pain on your stronger side. So I'd say if that is you, I would use an assistive device and work on getting up to the point where you can stand for 10 seconds. The next kind of skill or ability that would be beneficial to work on, again, we're just trying to build that data bank that you could safely walk in the community, is being able to walk and turn your head side to side. Now that means head and eyes. So actually looking side to side and looking up and down, being able to do that and not deviate more than 6 inches in either direction would be a good goal. And I would say that should boost your confidence a little bit that you could safely walk in the community. And the next one is being able to step over some kind of an obstacle 2 to 4 inches off the ground without losing your balance. So, and again, this can be with or without an assistive device. I think that's a good data bank, just those 3 skills. Of course, there's many more skills than that we would work on to really build your confidence. But I would say at a minimum, I would use those 3 things, moving towards getting more confident with those 3 skills first, and using that as data to reassure yourself that you could potentially walk in the community safely with decreased risk of falling. Now let's talk about that second category, just the convenience factor, or the second barrier to why a lot of people don't work on this. And yes, convenience is an important reason for most people to use a wheelchair. But I would say the convenience now is going to have consequences down the road. So what can we do as far as that convenience factor goes? One is just set more time aside. So just make a commitment that you're going to leave your house 30 minutes early before every appointment. Because obviously going in a wheelchair is a lot faster, and that is a lot of times why caregivers also kind of put the brakes on walking in the community. So setting that 30 minutes extra aside to make sure that you have enough time to get into a doctor's office or get to an appointment. And in most cases, that speed will increase to the point where you will be able to do it in a timely manner if you just spend a little bit of extra time working on it now. And one way you can start working on it now is planning ahead and leaving the house a little bit early. All right, now let's just talk about all of the voices in your head that are kind of putting the brakes on it or just not allowing you to really kind of think about that. Well, one is maybe the voices aren't even coming from you. Maybe they are coming from a doctor that said that you will never walk again. And so maybe you've just become content with you can walk around your house. You don't really need to walk out in the community. And I would say to that is that really true? If you made it this far, is it possible that maybe you can make it a little bit further? I would try and just kind of dissect where's that voice coming from or that thought process coming from that you can't, and kind of challenge those thoughts a little bit. Because maybe they've been put in your head by someone else, and maybe it is possible. The other thing I think about is therapists, we do this too. We just tell you you're not safe to walk in the community. And a lot of times we err on the side of being conservative, again, because we don't want you to fall. So is it just that your therapist is being conservative? No, don't do anything unsafe. Use your judgment. Only you are going to know. But just kind of investigate where are those thoughts coming from that you just absolutely can't do this and you're never going to be able to do it, and see if you can challenge those beliefs and those thoughts a little bit. And then the other voice could be coming from you. Like, I don't really want to think about that because it's just easier and more convenient to just go around in the wheelchair. But remember what I said at the beginning. The downsides of having a sedentary lifestyle and the health consequences that could implicate down the road are so devastating when it comes to your quality of life. Not to mention, if you are primarily a wheelchair user now and anything happens where you end up in the hospital, it is going to be very hard to get back up to your baseline, right? Which your baseline would be that wheelchair, which means that you would be below that level, meaning that you would need someone to help you get in and out of bed. Potentially, not to scare you, but just think about it. If you're at a wheelchair level now and you have a prolonged hospitalization, you are potentially going to drop below that. If you are just in a wheelchair, what is below that? So there's not a whole lot. So I'd say getting above that baseline is so important for so many reasons. Not only to decrease your risk of developing other health conditions, but also just, God forbid, something happen that completely taking your independence away. So just a little bit of food for thought. Okay, so now let's say you're getting this idea in your head and you really do think that this is something that you want to start pursuing. The first thing that I would say to start with is putting the wheelchair in the car full time. So this does two things. One is it takes the convenience of having a wheelchair at your disposal all the time, kind of takes that convenience away. So it does force you to just kind of have to be more intentional just in your home because you don't have that wheelchair right there. And then the other thing it does is by having it in your car, you do have that safety net. So if you do happen to get somewhere and you're running late or you get through half your day and now you're too tired and you really can't walk, well, you have that wheelchair in the car for you. And then the other thing it does is it really does take the burden off your caregiver of having to get that wheelchair in and out of the car multiple times a day. So that would be the first step. Wheelchair is already in the car. You can use it if you need to or not, depending on your energy level for that day. But those are just some suggestions and some tips to help you move from being a wheelchair user to being a community ambulator again. Hopefully you can put these steps into an action plan and really take your independence to the next level. But that is it for this video. If you liked this video and you want to get your specific questions answered to some of these nuanced topics, I think you would really enjoy being a part of our Gold Monthly Membership Program. With your Gold membership, you do get access to our monthly lives where you can submit questions in advance, and we meet once a month and I answer every single question, if it relates to physical therapy. If you wanted to support this channel, I would be so grateful if you would hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. By being a subscriber, it really does help these videos to get shown to more people that are potentially in the same situation that you're in. So it really will help other people to find these videos and hopefully take their rehab into their own hands. If you want to get exercises throughout the week, you can head on over to Instagram where I post 1 to 2 videos every single week just to add a little variety to your home exercise routine. I enjoyed spending time with you all today, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day.